What's going on, traders on out there? We need to go ahead and talk all about this market because we are leaking and it doesn't look good going into two major reports that we'll get after the close. We'll talk a lot about the earnings that are coming on up. And of course, if you guys got something that caught your eye today, throw it up in the chat and Joel and I will make sure to dive on into it. Let's get into at the close and see what is it going to bring?
All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
3 consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
All right, traders, let's bring in Joel Elconin here and take a look at the market. And it's uncertainty, but uncertainty is looking more to the downside than the upside from here. But you tell me what you see, Joel.
Yeah, our bearish talk this morning, unfortunately, has come to fruition here. We're off. The bad news is we're down about 48 and a half handles at 39.2150. Took out Friday's low, which we talked about. Did have a good number down there for you in the lower 3900s. Just nothing there. Your 4-day low was 22 and a quarter. That's where we're at right now. Just a little bit of a bounce here off the 13 and a quarter low, trying to distance itself.
Can you put those up? I see Mickey. I see
You
Mickey.
see
I see
Mickey
the
D's,
sun.
man.
I see the
That
Sundays.
the drive-through indicator. Don't
French
ever
fry.
don't forget about the drive-through indicator. But there you go. Repelling off 4,000. Trying to find some support here. Crude. This did not help the market at all. You got a huge reversal in the crude oil market. Looks like we were headed for triple digits. Someone stepped up at 99 and boom, kaplooey. Now down $1.72. Gold in the red by 330, 1750, 80. Silver going the opposite direction. It's up 20 cents, 1853. Bitcoin working its way down with the market, down $1,000 in 2087 to 20,870. And Ethereum is getting almost 9% haircut here after 4 days, 5 days of quiet ranges. Bottom falls out. Ethereum futures, they're down $133.50 at 1362.50.
So where do we want to go today? It's a tough one. Of course, let's start off with what shook the markets up, which was Walmart. Let's start at that. It definitely shook up all retail, but it wasn't that bad turn in the actual open. It wasn't that bad, at least in Walmart itself. What did you see else out there?
Yeah, let's we'll just talk about Walmart. I mean, we identified that support area this morning. The purple in the cyan represent the pre-market trading. I talked about the 118 to 120 zone, right? The low of the move, but that didn't do you any good because the low of the day is 120 and change here, 120.06. Just bringing it in. You know, people that got jammed short, like this whole way here. I'm shorting. Here you are. One day you get a chance, you give it all back. It's going to be quiet. It's going to be a much tougher time mounting a rally like it did this time because, man, people that got smoked here held on, we're coming back, and then boom, got smoked again. Don't know if it's going to pull a a Target and then one on a warn and then miss. But just quiet now and gonna find a little training range here, big volume, but support held, pre-market low held. I don't know, Target. They ended up buying the Target off this just because, who knows? Maybe it was just related to Walmart. But there's a look at your target chart, little gap to the downside too.
Well, I always look for what was weak and what was strong, right? Relative strength, weakness. It came a lot. It brought a lot of weakness in three major areas: apparel stores, apparel manufacturing, and department stores. Apparel stores, I'll point to let's do Lulu. Lulu got hit hard, 6.3%.
Jeez, Lululemon. Holy man, I didn't even look at this one. John, it just retail, man. 2 days ago, the stock looked like it was at the high. It was at the high of the rebound. Now coming back down. I mean, this market just reacts like no one's ever buying anything again. Down $20 on Walmart news. That seems a little overdone, but we shall see. 251 to what? What was your high here? Let's just call it, a 60-point move. You take 30, and ooh, you're right back here. If you felt like you missed a major low here, coming back into the 50% retracement. Also, a pair of lows here. Ooh, they're $10 away though. 70, just called 271 and a half, but looking okay here. I think they're being a little bit hard on Lululemon off this, but it's what the
Yeah.
market does.
I thought, maybe they were picking apart here some like kind of discount stores and some higher end retail. But look at Ross. Even Ross store is getting hit about 5.5%. So the two major leaders in the apparel store by capitalization, Lulu and Ross, just getting hit hard there.
Ooh,
Even
look at
a cheaper store, you would think maybe this is doing well in this environment. Not
Ross
at least from the chart.
stores. Yeah, what's the other one that is
TJX.
yeah, TJ. What's the one that's the real crazy one now that we always like? It just has crazy moves. It's not Ross. It's like
Is it
they're based in the Southmore.
Big
Uh,
Lots? Is it
no, it's not Big Lots. It's man,
Ollie?
no, it's not Ali.
I'm trying. The chat will get
No,
us. The chat will get it.
it's not Ross Stores, but it's a big department store, and it's a couple $100. Well, whatever. Well, I'm sure it's getting whacked.
They're all getting whacked. Even did you see KSS? I saw that one get hit hard.
Jesus, man, can you believe they never they
They
never
didn't
got?
take the deal.
I begged them. I begged them to
Joel, they
take the
needed you
deal.
on the board, man. They needed
I
you
would
on
have
the
said
board.
sold to you. Boy, oh boy. Down 252. Challenging. New low of the move here. Oh, Cole's getting hit 26.43. Your former, what do we got? 26.62. Oh, new low of the move. Nothing on the monthlies here. $20, just above 20. I'm not going to say that though. People get upset. 2047, going back to November of 2020 for Coles, but gap down 2 days ago. Friday, 31.30. Today, new low for the move in Coles.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm gonna take two more
Dillard's.
guesses. Is it
Dillard's.
Dillard's or
Thank
five?
you.
Dillard's.
Thank you.
There you
It was
go. The chat got
Dillard's.
it.
Yeah, thank you. I knew it. I can't believe I didn't think of that one. Yeah, you guys got it. Yeah, DDS, that's down 11 sticks
See
on
ya.
130,000 shares. S&P's doing the same thing that, you did yesterday. Just kind of no reason to rally, but we're rallying here. We are now about 10 handles off that low of the day at 13 and a quarter.
All right, let's go to the other disaster, at least with the pre-announcements, which was Shopify. But it actually is coming back. It's coming back here towards the close. It's interesting.
They're coming back. Did we get to 30? I took my eye off this one.
No, we always stay right above the levels, Joel. You know how it is.
What do yeah, it's like we're not the only people on Wall Street that can read a chart. 30.55. You did have some other look now. 30.02. I mean, that's just the kind of thing where, oh man, we ended the week before I was gone. We were like $30, and then everyone gets jammed, right? It goes to 40. And then you started to leak over on Friday and Monday, and then all of a sudden you get Walmart news. They started hitting it on the Walmart news. Well, they're like, well, hey, why don't we get our bad news out of the way too? And shop till you drop. There it is, holding that level for now. But boy, it's cutting 1,000 jobs. I mean, that's just that is just a lot of, I don't know what their entire workforce is, but and the other thing, the comment that the guy said was
Yeah, the
yeah,
longer term comment there, it was important there that he
def-
stated that the e-commerce and that he was wrong, that he expected it to stay strong. And that's not a good sign.
I mean, like,
CEOs
that's coming
admitting
out
they're
of the
wrong.
CEO. That's coming out of the CEO. I'd be like, dude,
Next time,
hit
just
the
don't talk
road,
about it. You were
Jack.
wrong.
We were wrong.
Yeah, we were
The
wrong.
pandemics don't last forever.
Gotta be
We
like
were
Kathy.
wrong.
Stick to your guns, man.
Yeah. You know what? And I talked about this. This is a really funky quarter. And I said it before. I'll say it again. Right, a year ago, 2 years ago, pandemic Q2, absolutely disaster earnings. Right, there were no earnings. Everyone was losing tons of money. Except for Amazon and the people buying stuff online. So hey, things are going to look better in 21, right? When on the comparisons. And now the comparisons for 21, I mean, those were artificially inflated earnings because you had a reopening of the economy. So it's going to take a while to shake out here, especially in the retail. We'll just have to find who some of the winners and losers are going to be.
That we will. All right. So before we get too far away from it, I do want to give some kind of of course, the big numbers to watch for, right? We're going to get Alphabet. We're going to get Microsoft. Let's start taking a look at those charts. I want to give you guys what is the estimates that are out there so that you guys can watch the moment it hits the tape, what's going to happen here. And don't forget, we will have the earnings calls on Benzinga. So let's dive into the Google Alphabet here, down about 2.5%. Estimated EPS is at 1.31, and the estimated revenue is 70.35 billion. So 70.35 billion. I'll repeat the EPS, 1.31. Those are the numbers you're going to look for when it hits the tape. It's going to be fast. The algos will be grabbing that. So like always, be careful there, but let's look at what happens with those numbers.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's looking for a gutter print here. I mean, this chart looks horrible. They did the split, 120. What we'll do is we'll keep an eye on the low of the move. That's 102.21. So we'll keep an eye on that on the upside or on the downside, breaking through these quad of lows here. That's not a good sign. On a pop here, let's say I was stuck along this thing and started to pop. I think the first thing, well, yes, today's high. I mean, that's a ways away. That's 0774. But just look at your daily highs 0774, 1058, 1318, and 1521. You got a string of 4 lower highs. You got a string of 4 lower lows. You got a string of 4 lower closes. So which way the street is leaning into this report. You can thank that the hangover from the stock split and then Snapchat put the hurt to people. How's Snap doing? Did that take out the low of the move? Nope. Oh, it's trying. It is trying. It did 966 low yesterday, 963 the low today, trading at 971. Don't know if we're going to see a move similar to Netflix with 2 capitulatory moves lower and a rebound. That was not my call. That's what Sean was possibly looking for in Snapchat. That's our guest from yesterday, Sean Udall.
All right, let's move over to the next major report that's going to hit the tape, which will be Microsoft, of course, the softy, hoping that doesn't come in soft, though. Definitely, Microsoft and both charts are not looking like the best on technical-wise.
Oh, man.
Leaking today down about 2.8%. I'll give you the estimates here. EPS expected to come in at $2.30. $2.30, and the estimated revenue at 52.47 billion. Now, one thing I will state is that you can see it here. You can see the green. This is the surprise on EPS and the surprise on revenue. You see a lot of green there. Very few red. And so that's the only thing that might make me feeling a little bit better is that Microsoft has done in, let's say, like the last 8, 12 quarters, has done pretty well on their reports. So let's see what happens here.
Seems like they always beat by some like
Yeah.
huge number.
Mhm.
But I don't know how many y'all are pulling the trigger on the prints though, and the EPS and whatever the revenues beat. What I would say is wait for some guidance, because they could do
Mhm.
okay this quarter, and then they'll say, "Ha, sorry, next quarter is not going to be so good." So just be careful. Have but make sure you get the full story
Yeah.
before you jump in, and these are volatile issues, and a lower level. Bill wants a lower level. Bill, do you want something lower than the low of the move? 241.53. I can give you some intermediate numbers here. Uh, boom. I'd say the first point where I'd see some interest would be 244.03, 43.02. But the real number, the super number, the all important number is that double bottom, June 13th, June 14th, right at 241.50. But street leaning super short into the report. Also, that's the way the markets reacted. Boy, and Mitch, is that like a head and shoulders? It's kind of a left shoulder on I'm looking at the bottom here. The bottom right chart, you got just kind of like a gippy shoulder. Then you got a big shoulder. Boy, a lot of room underneath that 241. So we'll see what happens with Mr. Softy. 265. If you get a look, if it starts to rally up and you get any, that is just a rock of Gibraltar there. That was the high. We talked about this one when I came back yesterday. Triple top there, right at 265. All right, sellers are coming in here. Enough of that light volume
Mhm.
rally into the close. Just kind of fluffed it up there. Don't know if we have our imbalances yet. Probably coming out here, but tapering off, it looks like, into the close.
Second day in a row, I can state that the stocks that were kind of leading the rally up, which were a lot of the software names, right, are the two industries that are down the most in technology. Again, software application, software infrastructure. So keep these on your radar. These are the ones with the big growth outlooks. That's why I feel like they're getting hit the most. We'll see what happens to these names as we continue going through these earnings of the big tech. It's going to be important to watch those, because if those get hit, what
That's it.
happens to these software names? They'll probably just get pounded on. So just keep them on your radar. I did see Coin taking a big hit today. Did you see that turnaround? And looks like there's some SEC probe news going around on this. So falling on the SEC probe, looking into, of course, whether they are having tokens on their platforms that should be considered as securities. And so the big fight here is between the SEC, Coinbase, and figuring out, do some of these digital tokens, should they be considered as crypto asset securities? And if they are, then of course, then coins would be getting hit because they shouldn't be putting these out there. There's some different kind of guidelines that they need to follow. Chairman Gary Gensler was talking about this last week. He talked about underlying tokens have attributes of securities and need to be regulated as such to protect investors. Red flag if I've ever seen one before,
A
Joel.
couple things you don't want to hear. You don't want to hear SEC investigations, and you don't want to hear accounting irregularities. I
Yeah, and
mean,
you don't want the chair taking shots at you.
it's not. Holy mackerel! I don't know what to say about this
Honestly,
Coinbase.
I am like, I couldn't buy this stock if you gave me the capital to buy it. That's my worry.
What are you holding out for? 40.83. Wow, that thing doubled off the May low and then
Mm-hmm.
nearly doubled. Now giving it all back. Oh man, oh man. I'll just say you do your next level. Where'd you get to today? Man, this thing $53 lower, $5 lower open, which was about little less than $1 from the high. I'll give you your next daily low, and then you can figure it out from there. That's 51.40. Did we get that low today? It looks like this is at least back at the beginning of the month. You did have some preliminary buying interest at 51.40 through 52.14. It's coming into that area. Probably a heck of a lot better place to cover a short than it is to cover a long. And Bitcoin, that down 975 that's kind of not helping things over 20,910.
Yeah, it's something that I would definitely stay away from. I'm just going to keep calling warnings out there. I know I'm not touching it. Let's go to at least something more positive. Let's take a look at a stock that's up today. What? I said it, guys. A stock that's up. Let's go to Coke. Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. Oh man, this is quite the volatile issue. The only thing I can say on this one is 63 didn't hold, 63 and a half didn't hold. It got to 63.80, nothing there. It did give you a flush early in the session. This actually opened kind of low, 62.53. So you missed a gap filled by 23 cents. Pretty good volume in Coca-Cola. People could still afford their Coca-Colas. I don't know. I'll as long as it stays above that today's low, then just try and ride it up. Next target would be 64. Pair of highs just above the 64 area, 64.09, 64.18 for Coca-Cola.
All right, another stock that is finishing at least not too bad. Farm Products ADM. Let's take a quick look at Archer Daniels. I've been kind
Did
of
that hold
focusing.
80? Did that
Well,
hold 80?
it was close. It did it right out the gates there. It went out the gates trying to get a push towards that 80. But
that was man, this thing failed there. This is the green. Yeah, the open. You like that. I mean, you had the high here, right, at 79.97. They tried to be coy the next day, high only 79.58. $70 a few days ago, a week and a half ago, $80 today. Didn't quite get down a gap fill. Probably people were looking, missed it by 23 cents. So good day overall, coming back towards the highs of the session. A leap over 80, and things open up for ADM, Archer Daniels Midland. I'm surprised. I mean, what would they be no, I was thinking of General Mills. I was thinking about the
the
suppliers
chicken,
to
man, the chicken. It's the chicken trade. Look at Tyson. Look at that close
how
on
is eat
Tyson.
more chicken. How is
Look at the
chicken
close
doing?
on Tyson here. I like that close. The way
That
it's
is a
moving.
that yep. I like the way it came down, tested the low of the move. Let's see. You're piercing this high here. 84.29. You're above it. You're making new highs as we speak. Not a super high volume day. Really a low volume day. It's probably just going to get over 1 million shares.
Hmm.
But you are clearing. I mean, this would be the one where you want to see it. Open up here, hold 84, then work its way up. And then the other chicken trade, Pilgrim's Pride. Uh, Working its way back up. Not as big a mover. That's clearing a pair of highs too. The question is who wants to try and get out of this bar here? That was probably an earnings trade, big drop on that day. So came down quickly through it. Don't know if it's going to go back up. Spoos are catching a bid here. 27 even. We are now only
Okay.
down 42 and handles. I mean, a lot of people sold in today. Walmart, right? Everyone's
Mm-hmm.
spooked. So now they're
Spooked.
saying, "Oh man, I don't know. I don't want to be short." But we'll see. A little bit of a rally here into the close, but well, no, there'll be fireworks. Will be fireworks. We'll get our determination there. Um, Trying to get on the upside here. Got a weekly level of control at 39.34. That's 6 handles away. That wouldn't be quite mid range on the session, but let's look at that. Looks for that if the rally can continue.
All right, I'll bring up a stock here. I wonder if Joel has ever even heard of some of these names. I mean, I personally don't trade any of these names. At least the volume will be there, but it's just something that I don't focus on, which is regulated gas, utility names, right? And so utility is the sector that's leading us today. So I've been trying to focus on what was the industries there and what was leading us, right? A lot of that, of course, electric, like Duke, the classic names, SO, Portland, Excel Energy, but CNP, Centerpoint Energy, is the highest capitalization name I have under this regulated gas industry. And it did put in a really strong candle yesterday, followed by a nice kind of inside day today. What do you see on these charts?
CNP?
Yeah, CNP, Centerpoint Energy.
I don't see it inside day. I see it open right at yesterday's high.
It did the old right at the high.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. I see it now.
Yeah, opened right at the high. Interesting level here. That's all I can say. You bumped your head up against 30.50 on this absolute epic collapse. Rebound, stopped at 30.59. Another collapse. You're back up here again. I mean, you hold this 30.50 area. Why the heck not make a run at 31? But just be aware, boom. Last time got up to 30.50, puked. Got up to 30.50, puked. We'll see what happens the third time. Strong into the close. Looks like closing near the high. Two real strong days in this one. 2-day move. Well, it's not that strong. It's just not a huge moving stock. But nice moves. A little bit weaker volume today in Centerpoint Energy.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with some of these names. I'll just call out some tickers. We don't got to go through it, but
sure.
There's CNP, ATO, NI are the top 3 of capitalization in regulated gas. You can keep those on your radar. Of course, you see UNG. We got up to the high there, man. Quickly. That's a V bottom. I know I was in the camp of the V bottom there, but I was definitely thinking it was going to come back on up. And man, that was quick.
Not warning candle though. I'll just warning
that's
candle a red,
for sure.
That's a warning candle. That's a shot across the bow right there. Didn't quite get up to the high of the move, and then a sudden reversal. So very important. UNG, or we'll look at natty gas too. Just a momentum there. You get up near, like everyone's like, yeah, get me 950 here. I'm definitely
I'll take the profits.
I'm going to get out at 950. I'm not going to worry about 960.04. And then the sellers came down 9.419. Yeah. Not a good looking candle. Definitely, if you're trading this, you got to see it hold the low of 8.568 for natty gas.
Last ticker here, we'll sneak in some meta outlook. They did raise the price on the Quest 2. So if you're looking to get your Quest 2, you need to do so before August 1st. On August 1st, they're going to be raising the price from $299 on the Quest, the 256 gigabyte model. Was actually going to cost now $499. That was $399. So raising the price about $100. And they said specifically that they hiked the price on the VR headset in order to continue investing in moving the VR industry forward for the long term.
If you could think of like the last thing that you want to do when your stock is in a decline like this, a vicious decline, is raise the price of your products. It's getting punished, and deservedly so. Down $7.50. Back down. What, this thing almost got to 180 the other day. I don't know when they report, but looks like you're closing in on the low of the move for Meta. That comes in at 154.25. So buyers on the close, folks. Head on a swivel. Let's see what happens here. We're looking at Google and Microsoft. That's going to be your key to the next 10, 20-point move in the S&P 500 index futures.
Well, we'll wrap up there. Get you guys on over to Cannabis Insiders. And Joel, you have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow on PreMarket Prep. All right, guys, don't lose your heads there. I see Microsoft heading down there towards 244 there, right on the reaction of the numbers. I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to go do some research so I can have you guys some information towards the bell tomorrow morning on Pre-Market Prep. Go on over to Cannabis Insiders. I'm going to see what's going on in this market. It's going to be a wild one tomorrow. Hit the thumbs on up before you get on out of here. Like always, catch everything right here on Benzinga. Later today, we'll get the Google earning call. That's at 5:30. You'll get Microsoft. Meet me up there, guys. I'm going to find on out what happened in these earnings. I'll talk about it in the chat while the earnings call is on. So if you want to chat with me, come on over to those earnings call. I'll see you in a little bit.